Namaste everyone, and thank you again for pressing play, for all your comments and your likes and your shares, and for just generally sticking with us. The truth will set you free. It was always going to be rather difficult few weeks, last week and this coming week. Lots of changes, yes. By now, hopefully, you have had your mountaintop experience, you've had your epiphany, you've had your illumination. You've come to understand a little bit deeper about who you are. Mostly people figure out who they are by process of elimination. I'll try this, I'll try this, I'll try this. That didn't work, that didn't work, that didn't work. Year by year, or every year, we have an opportunity to basically transform into a deeper version of who we truly are, not who we think we are. If we take the understanding that God is in control, your ego, the voice in your head, thinks it's in control. Because if it's not in control, what is it? You see, it has to have some standing, some substance. It has to carve out an existence. That's the part that you need to deny. Deny that. Shh. Shh. The true you. If you know that, then this is essentially what happens. You are co-creating as a lesser creator within the Creator's greater creation. So in other words, you know your role, okay? And it is a starring role. You are playing the role of a lifetime, as opposed to just getting a job to just play this character for a bit or that character for a bit. The starring role. You are the star of your own life. So thank you very, very much for sticking with us. Again, this coming week is going to be a bit tetchy. And after we've gone through the astrology, we'll talk about the toolkit. Tools. Very important. Okay. Bless you all. Right. Monday the 27th. Venus squares Mars. The squares, always a challenge. Oh, another thing you need to realize is that different people have different elements occurring at different times. Okay, so we can't all be having chaos at once because balance needs to be restored. So some people are the calm within the storm, and then some other time down the road, those people that were calm are the storm, and the other people, or they're the storm and the other people are the calm. So some people will be transiting this time very peaceably, calmly, and others will be trying to walk on the waters of life. You know, Jesus walked on water. The message there is, when you know yourself, you will be able to walk on the waters of life and not sink in to the drama. Speaking of which, how do we have a very low tolerance for drama at the minute, which is great. You want to steer away from it. When it's in your face, thank you, I have no complaints. I even say that to people now when they're not getting with the program. I just go, thank you, I have no complaints. And there's really no answer to that. So, Monday the 27th is going to be a challenge in and around that time. To create balance between the masculine and the feminine energies within yourself. In order to create balanced and empowered relationships so that your actions can be aligned with your values. We talk about our Father, our Heavenly Father, my Heavenly Father. No one talks about our Heavenly Mother. But we have to address it, yes? Yahweh. I am that I am. Pronounced Yahweh. In the ancient temples of Solomon, the carvings depicted Yahweh and his Shekinah. That's what this says. Shekinah. Does God have a wife? Yes, God has a wife. But God is not a formed being. We are the lesser creation. We are made in the image of God, not this. This is a purely functional thing. This is a purely functional thing, this vessel. Another thing I found interesting is God is one, yes, but God is both masculine and feminine. Must be. This is logic here. Because when God created Eve, he must have had some imaginations on this form that is female. You see, he made Adam. Adam decided to call himself man. Well, Adam was put here and he had dominion. All the animals came. He basically watched life through the animalistic beast nature. He watched animals going about, eating, fighting with one another for survival, mating, rearing children. Different animals mate and rear their young differently. He watched this. But none of them were his helpmeet, you see. So God made woman. Adam, or man as he knew himself, he named himself, I am man. I have dominion over this earth. Then woman came along. Oh dear. Oh dear. So woman has everything man has, plus something else. Yes? He decided to call her woman. She is everything in him, as everything that he has. Because God went, oh, here's Adam, here's a man, so I'm going to create him a woman. He had to make her physiologically different to fit. Yes. But to fit body, physically, fit together for procreation. Yes. Emotionally, mentally, this is where we start to have a problem. A man thinks differently to a woman. Okay? But we have both these energies inside of us. And in order to get to anywhere close to yourself, your true self, you have to acknowledge this. Okay? So I say our eternal parents, let's help you understand this. You can use the word Shekinah. Yahweh and his Shekinah. You can use the word Holy Spirit. If you look at the qualities of the Holy Spirit, distinctly female. So this week, oh, and another thing is, when you're lacking, as a woman, when you're lacking, or that masculine energy is not integrated, or it's not strong, and you don't have that balance, then you run the risk of people taking advantage of you. And if you're a man, and you haven't embraced that feminine energy that is within you, well, you can just be a beast. Just a complete beastie. So in order to know yourselves, you have to acknowledge certain things. So this week we are very fortunate to be able to start to work on that. Balancing that masculine and feminine within yourself will create that ability to open up and work on these relationships that have some substance and some foundation. Also on Monday the 27th, Venus conjunct Neptune, an opportunity to cultivate unconditional love, the most powerful force on earth, compassion and empathy towards ourselves and others as a foundation of relationships, and to shift our values from materialistic to spiritual. This is the week, guys. We're being pushed. Are you taking the beastie path or the priesty path? If you don't specifically make yourself known, make your choice, make it known, you will be sucked into the beastie stream by default. So this is the week. People have left your life. Things have transformed. Hopefully you were expecting that gift, that you were waiting for that epiphany, you were waiting for that healing, you were waiting for that gift. If you were waiting expectantly, you would have received it. So now you put it into practice. It's about being able to become who you really are. So you're not just putting on a different costume. At work, this is my costume. At home, this is my costume. At friends, this is my costume. With my kids, this is my costume. The true you. So then when you get up every day, it's just whatever you feel like wearing. Moving from the materialistic to the spiritual. Tuesday the 28th, Mars square Neptune. A challenge to turn personal desire into spiritual devotion. And make sure that the actions we take are guided by wisdom and motivated by unconditional love rather than fear and selfishness. The world is very fearful at the minute. Well, generally, we look at the media, the mass media. Those that control the media control the minds of the masses. I put it to you. If you found yourself at this channel, you are about to be woken up from the sheep herd. We are speckled sheep here over here. Yes? Speckled sheep. We'll talk about speckled sheep. The remnants of the faithful. Otherwise called speckled sheep. Those that know themselves. Those that walk with God. Living God. Communicating with God. One with God. We are one with God. It's just that most people believe that they are what they believe they are. What a waste of a lifetime. Everything's designed. Imagine you decided you want to go to do fencing. You know, that fighting with the mask on and it's all very dignified. But your fencing instructor, your master, your teacher, doesn't want to hurt you, doesn't want you to feel the prick of the sword, of the blade, doesn't want you to get a few slaps around the face because you weren't paying attention. Yes? And then the same master sends you out for a bout, you know, an actual fight, a duel. And you're not prepared because you've been mollycoddled by your master. Do you think your opponent's going to take that pity on you? No, no. Your opponent wants to be winner, winner. Just like our father and our mother. Wants to make you ready for a hostile world. The old ways are done. We serve a living God. So materialism is a thing of the past. Everything is going to teach us now to value what is real and put away those things that are not. The world will descend into fear because that is the energy that feeds the lie. But the truth will set you free. And this is the week to be open and honest with everyone around you, your loved ones, those you want to keep in your life, they're important to you. Go and say your sorries. Time to move from selfishness. Sunday, the 2nd of February. Venus sextile Pluto. Opportunity, that is, loving it. An opportunity to transform our values and relationships through a willingness to face our shadow. Those are the lies. Whenever we hear the word shadow, it's the lies you tell yourself. Some of them are beliefs because you were raised this way or raised that way and this and this and this and this and this. Is it your truth? Ask yourself, is it true for me? Do I value? Is it true for me? That's what you've got to ask yourself. Am I just doing it because everyone's doing it? Or is it true? Is it my truth? Is it true for me? Time to face our shadow. Own up, face up, people. And be open and honest with one another. To enable trust to flourish. And greater depths of relationship to be developed. Trust is very important. Once trust is gone, How do you get that back? Wow. Let me tell you how you get it back. You go. You lay your cards on the table. You tell the truth. People will know if you're telling the truth. All of us that made it, we know. The world will not be tolerating lies anymore. No more. The world will have its 7-minute abs moments from now on. Shocking truths will come to light and shake the very core, the foundation of existence that we know. But fear not, for all of us that abide under the mysteries, abide under the protection of our Father. Cleave to your loved ones. Go and make right. We also, the end of the week, enter the pre-Mercury retrograde shadow. We'll talk more about the retrogrades. But just to give you a heads up, an opportunity to slow down. Okay, this week coming is going to feel a bit hectic, but then some of us are going to be feeling that slowing down, which is frustrating when you're trying to get a goal accomplished, but the energies are slowing down. Is frustrating. Okay, so don't fall into that trap of being annoyed with yourself. Go with the flow. Okay? So it's a time to start slowing down before the retrograde, because when the retrograde comes, Mercury retrograde, communication, it's mercurial, the trickster. Okay? We are going to have to face and review wider truths. So let's deal with our own truths before the retrograde, because then the wider truths out in the world are going to start coming. Ooh. Okay? And that's going to be interesting. So it's going to be a wonderfully fascinating week. Okay, let's see where we go with these. I have a reading as well that I want to read, but I'm trying to keep to the 20 minutes. All right, my lovelies, what do we have? What do we have? What do we have today? Okay. We have the High Priestess. What does this mean? It means information's coming. It means secrets are being revealed. So, of course, it's our family members and all of our loved ones and everyone is going to be having this natural urge. Everyone's just going to be having this natural urge to speak their truth. It's going to be wonderful. Okay? But just because it's their truth doesn't mean it's your truth. Everyone is just going to feel the need to just be talking their truth. It's going to be amazing. So, of course, hidden things will be revealed. What people have been harbouring in their thoughts and in their hearts and in their mind. We've got to get it out in the open. Let's just get it out in the open. Let's move on. Let's take responsibility. Let's own our stuff. No one else's job to make you happy. If you're an adult, it's no one else's job to take care of you. As a woman, you're supposed to balance your masculine and your feminine. As a man, you're supposed to balance your masculine and your feminine. And an empowered woman and an empowered man, we can call them a power couple, come together, boom, create something greater than themselves. This is the plan. Information's coming. Okay? We just said it's going to happen naturally. The King. The King is about male energy, male sexual energy, and things pertaining to the law and justice. I said time to pay the ferryman. I just use these euphemisms, can sound scary. Basically what that means is, what you sow you reap. You know, if you've done good, it's your time for a reward. If you haven't done so good, well, you've got to pay. When you know who you are, you get off the karmic wheel. In other words, you don't do things to cause yourself a problem. You know, you check yourself before you wreck yourself. So, male sexual energy and justice. Justice is coming. Also things relating to the law. Things have to get balanced before the retrograde. So this is all just a rebalance of the situation. Also, restriction. As we're saying, the retrograde period's coming up. There is going to bring restriction in communications, in movements. So we want to get all of our stuff. We said first part, hit the road running. Well, the hit the road running time We're there, and we now have to begin to slow down because we're going to be facing restrictions, because we have to slow down and reassess. The Mercury retrograde starts 17th February. Can you believe it? Middle of Feb. Middle of the second month of the Gregorian calendar. But just about to start the first month, the first season of God's calendar. Okay, so things pertaining to law. So if you've got any legal matters pending, we're going to probably have some information, some movement on that, and hopefully some justice for you if you've been wronged. Restriction. Okay, some of this restriction is within you. So not dealing with your shadows, not dealing with your stuff, not doing the work, as we like to say, will result in restriction. Because you have to hook up, stop the bus, and get it right. Stop sinning. Sin basically means you missed the mark. The word sin means you missed the mark. You say you're playing darts and you threw for a bullseye, but you happen to miss the bullseye. You got this number or that number. Well, you were aiming for a bullseye. You got on the board, but you missed the mark. That's it. You missed the mark. But the love of our Lord, the love of our Father says in every moment you can recreate yourself. So in every moment you can choose to make the right decision. So you could have been a lying, thieving, manipulative, nasty, beastie person your whole life, and then you have your epiphany and you go, from this moment forward, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make a different choice. And you stick to it, and you do that. That's your prerogative. You can change. You're allowed to. Everything is forcing you to be the best you can be. So when we have restriction, it basically means patience. We need some patience. We need some patience coming forward in the next week. We're also, Aquarius energy is very mental. I mean, it's genius. I mean, let's go through a couple of the elements, or a couple of the traits. Genius, ideas, gnosis, which is hidden knowledge, embracing change, embody the truth. This is when you can really get a grip and say, this is who I am, world. Okay? But that starts on the inside. The external manifestation of that is only in Aries season. Number one, the fool, the novice, the beginner. I'm beginning this new leg of the journey. So a lot of mental activity. Okay, so it's about balancing the mental activity with the emotional activity, and getting that sense of balance within ourselves, staying away from drama. All right, we've also got the Hawk, which is messages and omens. All right, so our Father's going to be speaking to us through the Holy Spirit, through our Mother, with wisdom, yes, to try and wake you up, tell you where you need to be moving to, and give you that guidance that you need to have this be almost successful. Yeah, getting you closer to the real you. And last but certainly not least, the bee. Victory is assured. Your hard work and all your efforts are about to pay off. Well done. It also means don't stop working hard. Keep working hard. Is that it? Creative projects. Okay, another issue with the Aries energy, that's not that it's a bad issue, is that you get a lot of ideas. It's genius. I mean, it's like ideas from God. Okay, so get those ideas, write them down. They might come in dreams, they might come through songs, through numbers, through all sorts of things. Write them down. Start to take action. Our Father's giving you everything you need to help yourself. Now I have something special to read for you. Also taken from the Gospel of Thomas. Jesus saw some babies nursing. He said to his disciples, "These nursing babies are like those who enter the kingdom." They said to him, "When shall we enter the kingdom as babies?" ? Jesus said to them, "When you make the two into one, and when you make the inner like the outer, and the outer the inner, and the upper and the lower. And when you make male and female into a single one, so that the male will not be male, nor the female be female, when you make eyes in place of an eye, a hand in place of a hand, a foot in place of a foot, an image in place of an image, then you will enter the kingdom. Time to turn the two into one. Time to turn the emotion and the mental activity into the correct image. I have to take it one step further. This is for the ladies. Because we believe God is a man. God is not a man. God is Yahweh. And he's Shekinah. Simon Peter said to them, Mary should leave us, for females are not worthy of life. I'm sure he didn't mean that kind of life. I'm sure by this point he had consumed enough fish, esoteric teachings, to not mean physically not be alive. I think he was probably referring to she doesn't qualify for spiritual teaching. She is just a mere woman. Jesus said, look, I shall guide her to make her male, so that she too may become a living spirit resembling you males. For every female who makes herself male will enter heaven's kingdom. So ladies, it appears we don't have to be like Jesus, because we are not a man. But Jesus will help us enter the kingdom by turning us into a man. What does that mean? It means you look like a woman and you present like a woman, but you think like a man. How terrifying for the Adams of the world. God bless you. Father, bless us. Teach us the truth no matter the cost. Show us the truth no matter the cost. Peace be with you. Namaste.